Get you in the frame. All right, YouTube, check it out, man. We're doing something different today. I've never done like a actual live voiceover while I'm cutting. So I got my boy Thomas. He done drove 3 hours. We're gonna record this haircut. What you said we're gonna do a 4 on top and a burst fade? Or 6?
A 6 on top.
See, I almost cut all your hair off. So we're doing a 6 and a burst fade. So yeah, man, let's go ahead and get into this haircut. All right, so y'all see the canvas before, y'all see the before look, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna go ahead and take our number 6 guard. As you can see, I got my number 6, using my SnapFX. We're gonna take number 6, go over the top of my client's head. Go over it, good amount of times, you know what I'm saying? You wanna make sure we get that all down to that desired length. And then as you see, I'm using my brush to brush away any extra debris, any hair that's falling out. We wanna make sure we brush that away. That way we can actually see how the hair looks. And then I'm gonna ask my client once I'm done with this if this is the length he likes. Got the top down to that number 6. Now I'm gonna go over the sides with my number 6 also. Because once again, he is getting a burst fade, and I'm not sure how he normally gets his burst fade, but I'm gonna give him the way I normally do my burst fades, and hopefully he enjoys it. And that's one thing too, guys, that I like to say, like, even though people come to you and they want a certain haircut, I like to always put my actual style and my actual like style on the haircut, because the way I see it is I want myself to be my brand. So I want people to know, like, oh, that's a Tank be Choppin type haircut, you know what I'm saying? So not saying that it ain't gonna be a good haircut, but it might be slightly different than what he's used to, but we're gonna try our best to make it nice and blurry, you know what I'm saying? Give him them nice sharp lines that you know that your boy does. All right, so now I'm gonna take my trimmer. As y'all can see, got my SnapFX trimmer. I'm gonna set in my initial bald guideline for my burst fade. So the way I do it is I come around the ear like that, which most people do, but you know, there's different types of burst fades. So, you know, some people do like a burst fade mohawk, some people just do like a regular burst fade. So that's why I asked him. I wanted to make sure and ask him exactly how he wants his burst fade before I started. And he basically told me, and that's basically what I'm gonna be doing. So as you can see, we're just coming around the ear, getting all this hair down to that trimmer length. And once we get that all down, I'm gonna follow this up with the shaver. And one thing I will say too, guys, is I don't feel that you have to make your bald guideline super, super sharp. I know some people make it seem that you have to, and I'm not saying it's not a good idea to, but honestly, the way I see it is, we're gonna blend this section out anyways. So the first initial guideline doesn't have to be super, super sharp, you know what I'm saying? I mean, obviously you want it to look pretty clean, that way you can see what you're doing, but at the same time, don't obsess over it and try to make it the straightest line, especially if you're trying to be quicker, that's gonna make it slower actually. But now I'm gonna go ahead and take my shaver, we're gonna bald all this out. And the closer we get to the line that we created with the trimmers, I'm relieving some tension and I'm using a slight flick out motion. That way it doesn't leave so harsh of a line. That way that line is easier to erase when we get to that part of the haircut. All right, so now that we got the initial bald guideline set in, I'm gonna go ahead and go on with my clipper all the way open, and I'm gonna set in my next section. And we're gonna follow the same shape all the way around. And I like to use a slight flick out motion. And when I say slight flick out motion, I don't mean like we're overdoing it. It's just the closer I get to where I want my section to end, I'm flicking out slightly. And we're still trying to keep the same shape all the way around the head, because once again, we are gonna be doing a burst fade on this haircut. And as y'all can see, I'm coming up about maybe ½ an inch or so, and we can always adjust that if you feel it's not enough. But that's just, you know, I want to be kind of cautious on what I'm doing because I haven't cut his hair before. So I want to make sure that I give myself room just in case I do happen to mess up or something happens, that I can stretch this blend out a little more to make it look better. Or if my client wants it raised, I can actually raise it up. Now I'm going to go on my one guard, lever open. I'm going to set in another section. And this is just the way I've been cutting here recently. I've been switching up my style. Normally I'd go in with my clipper open, then blend that section out. But I decided to switch it up and do clipper open and then one guard open, and then I'll do my 1.5 guard open, and then I'll probably do some down fading after that. And this technique probably isn't the best for everybody, but it works for me and it helps get my haircuts to where, you know, that level that I'm trying to achieve, that look that I'm trying to achieve. So I like to do that. You know, and I just like to switch it up because I think when you're a barber and you've been barbering for so long, you get tired of doing the same thing over and over and over. So sometimes switching it up is a good thing. Now I'm gonna take my 1.5 guard and we're gonna follow that same shape right above what we did with that one lever open. Once again, using a slight flick out motion. I think this is probably like the second or third burst fade I've actually done on my channel. We're gonna go on with our number 4 guard now. We're gonna debulk all this extra area right here. Basically blending into what we did with that number 6 guard earlier. And as you can see, my 4 is blending into that 6. So I'm not gonna need to take my number 5 guard. I can just use my 4 and float the clipper as needed. If you feel you need to take a number 5 guard, you can. But most of the time, I can blend into whatever length on top with a number 4. So I'm gonna take my number 3 guard now, and I'm gonna come right below that with my 3 guard lever open. And remember, we want to keep this area slightly darker than we are right here, so I'm not gonna bring this part too high. We're still following that same shape, also that round shape that we created originally with the 3 guard open. And then I'm also listening so I can see exactly, or I can hear where it's cutting, and I know once all this hair is already down to that length, I know that I can close my guard or my lever and come right below that. So now I'm gonna close my number 3, and I'm coming right below what I just did with that 3 open. Now I'm gonna take my 2 guard, lever open, and I'm gonna come attack all these dark areas that I see. And once again, you can hear where it's cutting, and you can also see it. So that's one thing too, man. You wanna make sure you use more than just your vision. Listen to if you can hear where the hair is being cut. Now I'm gonna close my number 2 guard. I just open it. Basically, I'm doing some lever play also while I'm blending this section down. And it's just something I like to do. It just helps me give the client the look that I'm trying to achieve with my blends. So since I already went in with my 1.5 guard open, I'm gonna go in with it closed, and I'm gonna attack this area right here. And I also want to pay attention to listen to make sure I'm not going too high into this blend. And as y'all see, I am using some corner blending also. Corner blending is a good detailing technique, and it's also good when you're trying to basically be more cautious of what's going on. Because if you just lay your clipper flat, it may cut off too much hair, and if you just use the corner, it's only gonna cut off, you know, just a little bit of hair. Something that'll be really easy to fix, opposed to if you took off a lot of hair. Now I'm gonna put my 1 guard. I already know that I went in with my 1 guard open, so I'm gonna have it closed. And I'm gonna try to get this section knocked out. And it may not get this line completely erased. I may have to go in with my half guard. And that's typical, you know. Normally the clipper open doesn't blend perfectly into the 1 guard. Now I'm gonna just open my lever. I see a little dark spot in these areas. I wanna make sure I clean that up. Go ahead and go on with my half guard lever open. Well, actually, I'm going with it halfway open and just use the corner of my blade and just tap at this line. And if I feel that it takes off too much, I can always open it all the way like I just saw me do and just attack where I feel needs to be attacked just to get that blend to come together. Now I'm gonna close it all the way and try to get this blend all the way cleaned up. But y'all see me doing some slight lever play. And sometimes you have to do that in between the cut, you know, while you're cutting, while you're blending certain sections out. Just to, you know, just to give it that look you're looking for. And as y'all can see, this blend's looking a lot better than it did a couple minutes ago. But now we still got this line right here. So I'm gonna go ahead and go in with my clipper halfway open. And I'm gonna start attacking this middle section right here. And once again, I wanna use the corner of my clipper. That way it lessens the chance of messing up and taking too much hair off, and it lets me be more precise with the certain areas that I'm trying to clean up. Now I'm gonna close my lever all the way and do the same thing, corner blend. And I may not blend this out 100% right now. Y'all know I like to go through my steps first, do some small detail work, and then line my client up and then come back to the blend. And I know it's not for everybody. I know some people think that takes too long, but I said it earlier, man, like I'm not worried about that because I wanna make sure I give my client the best blend that I can give them. So if I gotta take 45 minutes for the blend, I'm perfectly fine with that because I'm not trying to be just your average barber. You know what I'm saying? I wanna make sure that I'm giving more to my client. That way I give them a nice haircut and honestly just try to give them the best haircut that they had. Now I'm gonna go ahead and line my client up. I know a lot of people don't like to line up their client until the end, but I like to do it while I'm cutting each side because it helps give me a better look, just a better look of a finished product. That way I know what needs to be done before I move on, or what needs to be done before I complete the haircut. And then also, once you line up your clients, it helps bring out any discrepancies in the blend. So anything I may not see now, I may be able to see it once I line my client up. Sometimes edge-ups take me a lot longer than what y'all see in the videos. And that's just because, for editing purposes, y'all don't want to see me going over the same spot of the haircut over and over and over. But sometimes I do that, and that's just because I want to be nice and precise with it. So now that we got down here to the point, I'm gonna go ahead and hit up the C-cup. So this is how I like to do C-cups. I like to set in the line here, here, and then connect the two lines. So I set in my first line there, and I'm gonna set in my next line here. And once that's set in, I'm basically gonna connect these two lines. And as y'all can see, I'm just taking off a little bit of hair at a time. I don't want to take off too much hair at once. I'd rather just tap at this hairline, tap at it, take off a little bit, and if I need to take off more, I can always just keep coming back in and take off more if needed. Once that's done, obviously I'm gonna look at it in the mirror, see what I need to come back and adjust now. See some slight discrepancies that I want to take care of, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that now. So sometimes when you're detailing, you may need to go through all your steps again. I know some people probably think that's overkill, but sometimes just to be on the safe side, that's a good way to do it. Not saying you have to do it, but sometimes I like to. Not saying I'm gonna go through every single guard now, but this is my number 4 guard. Basically just blending back into what I did earlier, just because I see some small dark areas, small discrepancies that I don't 100% like, so I'm going back in to clean all that up. And this is my 3 guard, closed. Going back in with the 1.5, but I'm not really fading everything in again. All I'm doing is touching up all these areas because I feel that there was just some dark areas, and I couldn't really pinpoint exactly what needed to be detailed. So it's okay to use all your guards if you need to. And I know some people will probably say, "Oh, you don't need to. You should just go in and know what guards to use." And sometimes it's easier than other times. Sometimes you can see something in the haircut and know, like, all right, like I need to hit that with my 1.5 guard. And sometimes you really just don't know. And it's okay to use every guard if you need to. Because I do that still, and I've been cutting hair for 15 years, and I still do that every once in a while. Especially with newer clients that I haven't really gotten accustomed to their hair yet. I don't want to use the wrong guard because I think I'm supposed to use a guard. Like for instance, if I think I'm supposed to use a 1 lever open, and I go in with that 1 lever open, and I should have used a 1.5 level roping. Now I got to do a lot to fix that, right? So instead, always go with the bigger guard, or start off with, go back with all your guards if you need to, but go with a bigger guard just to be on the safer side. As y'all can see, that blend is looking nice, man. I'm gonna go back in and just clean it up some more. This is my half guard. Cleaning up the bottom of this blend.
Yeah, you're gonna see it too. Like when you do the other side, you're gonna be like, oh yeah, the other side was way more of a challenge. It's because like it grows like in different ways, or like you slip on your pillow on one side for so long, and like your hair just bunches up.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like that.
All right, so this is my clipper, no guard, doing some lever play, trying to get this part of the blend to come together. Now I see a little dark spot right here I'm gonna take care of.
I was about to say, you can move me around, see if they can see it. Then I kind of like and dislike ring lights just because they have that shadow. It creates that shadow, and you still have to move your client.
And round off this side of the blend. You say you normally get it round in the back, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Unless
we can do it round. It's not too like thin.
I like doing it around it because it looks more full.
All right, so you know how your boy likes to do it when I spray on these enhancements. I don't like to spray too much. I like to spray just enough to where it makes the haircut look sharper, but where it doesn't look fake, you know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people spray too much and it looks super fake, and me personally, I don't like that. I don't like the way that looks. So I try to make sure I spray just enough to where it looks nice and natural, but it also looks sharper than what it originally did before the enhancements. And I think Basio said this on one of his videos, that you can mess up a haircut more by adding enhancements. Because if you overspray it, you don't spray it properly, it doesn't look good. It doesn't give a good product. It doesn't give a good finished product. So you want to make sure that you learn how to spray on enhancements properly. I know a lot of people think like, oh, I can do that, that's easy, but it's not. It's actually like an art form. Like, you got to know exactly how much to spray, and then each gun is different, so you got to know how to use your guns. But as you can see, that's what we're doing here, and we're just taking this cut to the next level.
What got you into enhancements, man?
I seen a lot of people were doing it. You know, Basio was doing it, Sean was doing it, 360 was doing it, and I was like, man, that looks interesting. I said, I know it's not for everybody, not every barber needs to offer that, you know, but I thought it was pretty interesting that they were doing that. And then I had a few clients who were like thinning on certain, you know, like their hairline wasn't as sharp as it could have been or whatever. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna grab these enhancements and I'm gonna start using them and see my clients' reactions, you know, see how they like it. And a lot of my clients, that when I started putting them enhancements, man, they loved it. You know what I'm saying? So it's just something that I kept doing because obviously my clients liked it, so I continue to do it. All right, so now what I'm doing here is I'm just adding a little bit of hairspray, spraying my client with that hairspray, because I'm gonna go in and add some of the new Tomb 45 hair fibers. We're gonna put this on there just to make these lines look a little more sharper, you know what I'm saying? Y'all know how your boy likes to do it. Let's go. So we're just spraying a little bit on there. And I am using the Sean Cuts Hair Enhancement card also. Remember, if y'all wanna cop anything off of tomb45.com, I do have a discount code. You can use my discount code TANK, and it will save you a little bit of money, so y'all use that if y'all wanna use these enhancements, enhancement card, no drip, or the topic, the hair building hair fibers. But as you can see, I'm just spraying a little bit. I'm trying not to spray too much. You know what I'm saying? I still want it to look nice and natural, but I just want it to look a little more cleaner. Now I'm just gonna do the same thing to this side. And you don't need to press this pump too hard. I see a lot of people when they use it, they push the pump super, super hard and a lot comes out. You don't want that, because then it's gonna look too caked up on your client's hairline. So make sure you just, you know, press it, give a nice little press to it, but don't overdo it. Now I'm just gonna lock all that in with some more hairspray. All right, so now I'm gonna use my Tomb 45 barber pencil. Focus, there we go. We're gonna go over this hairline one time real quick, And then you know you gotta blend this out. A lot of people don't blend out the line. They leave the clients looking like an island boy.
I knew you were gonna say that.
So you gotta blend it out. And I'll show y'all how to do that right here in a second. I cut his hair and I didn't do the pencil, you know, for whatever reason. I think I couldn't find it or something. And I gave him the mirror and he's like, hey bro, you ain't gonna do the pencil on me? I'm like, oh, my bad, dude. Like, here, let me find it. And I had to find the pencil real quick and line them up with the pencil. That's client-based. Like, not every client is going to want that for everybody. But a lot of times, like, if you're doing, like, pictures or something, like videos, I feel it looks really good. Now we got that pencil on there. I'm going to take my wall detailer. We're going to blend out this line. That's one thing the wall detailers are really good for. Not that they're not good for anything else, but they're really good for blending out that chalk line. And then I'm still gonna go over it with the razor and make these lines a little more sharper. Is it a little more sharper or a little sharper? I'm gonna make them sharper.
Just say it in Spanish, it emphasizes more, muy filoso.
There you go.
Some people don't.
Yeah.
I try to do it.
And then we're gonna do the same thing to this side.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and hit them with the razor now. We're just gonna follow everything we just did, follow this hairline, get this nice and sharp. Remember guys, when you're using your razor, you wanna make sure you stretch that skin. And you wanna apply pressure, but you don't wanna overdo it. Like don't try to shank them with the blade, man. Just apply enough pressure to where you're gonna make sure you cut. Because if you don't apply no pressure, it ain't really gonna cut nothing.
Yeah.
Man, you know what's crazy is everyone always asks me about this razor handle. And I don't even know what it's called. Same thing on this side, guys. Make sure you stretch that skin.
Do you think you got more leverage with that?
I can't even talk right now. Better.
Right? Or no?
What do you mean?
When you're done with your client?
Nah. All right, so check it out. This is how my boy Thomas came into the shop looking. And this is the finished product. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this haircut in the comment section. If y'all like this video, please make sure to smash that like button. Also, if you're new to my channel, make sure and subscribe one time for your boy. Remember guys, if you're in the Houston, Texas area and want a haircut from your boy, you can go to my website, tankbchoppin.com. You can book there. Also, if you want to purchase any of these tools, you can go to babylesspro.com. Use my discount code TANK10, save yourself a little bit of money. Let me know what y'all think about this style of video down in the comment section, guys. It's a little different, but I wanted to hit y'all with something different. But y'all let me know, man. And once again, I appreciate y'all for watching. Until next time, let's go.